Monk mode sucks. Do this instead. First, let us establish what monk mode is. Monk mode is essentially taking a period of time from a few weeks to even a few months to absolutely lock in on your goals. And when I say absolutely lock in, I mean monk mode, as in you are a monk. No distractions, strict morning routine, and you just absolutely focus on your work. And in theory, this sounds like you could be super productive. This sounds like you could make progress on your goals. And it has a certain appeal to it by doing something difficult, being disciplined. But there are quite a few issues with this, and let me explain. First of all, monk mode. Mode, hence temporary. You only do this temporary. Why? Why should this only be temporary? Because it's not sustainable. Whenever you're doing something that's not sustainable, you gotta ask yourself, do I have a really good reason to do this? And in most cases, do you really need to take it that far? I can tell you guys, because right now I'm in somewhat of a monk mode. I am working very much. I'm working a lot in a way that is not sustainable. But it's not a monk mode because I still allow myself pleasures. Like, let me give you an example. So, yeah, right now I'm in a situation where I'm in Mexico and I need to work more than I normally would because I have a job here and I needed the extra money. And on top of that, I'm working on content creation, on video editing for creators and marketing. And it ends up being around 12 hours of work a day, which is pretty brutal and you could say not sustainable. And I also take time to take care of myself. You know, I gotta eat properly. I gotta go to bed early. I do a bit of meditation in the morning. I do like physical exercise. And some people will do that and not allow themselves any pleasures, in the sense that, you know, if they're having coffee, okay, no sugar, no milk, or not even coffee because, okay, let's say coffee's bad for you, or no sweets, you know, they'll take it to a level where it's just, is this even helping you at this point? Is this diminishing returns? My point is that it's okay to work hard. It's okay to push yourself. In fact, you should do this. But you gotta realize, is there a point where doing that 1% more where what would it be? I can't see any friends. I can't have a single gram of sweets. I can't, you have it so strict that it's not even beneficial anymore. It's like, okay, if you have that coffee with honey, you know, if that makes you happy, if you have that croissant before you go to work, which is what I'm gonna do when I go to work. If you do these little things to treat yourself, it makes it that much more bearable. It makes it so that you can actually go through this period and not be completely depressed. It's these little things that make you happy. So why risk that? Why take that away, those things that make you happy, for like to be like 1% more productive? This is what I want to say. If you're in a monk mode, you're working like 12 hours a day, let's say, well, you can take a few minutes to go to treat yourself to something. It doesn't have to be 100% locked in, because anything that's extreme is not sustainable. And even this not being sustainable, you can still make it more bearable by doing these little things. Like, most people, one thing they do when they're on a monk mode is they don't see friends, they don't see family. They completely like isolate themselves, and there's a balance. you can work hard, be productive, and still see your friends. If there's a period of time where you want to lock in, okay, but you don't have to take it too far. You want to see your friends invite you to go do something? Okay, say, hey guys, you guys are going to have a drink. Okay, I can join you guys for 1 hour. You know, just have a sparkling water. You don't even have to drink. But I need to go to bed early. So you have to be disciplined enough to respect what you say. If you say you're only going to stay for 1 hour, you actually only stay for 1 hour. But you still keep those interactions. You still keep a connection. And, you know, you do that for your mental health. And if you don't do that, you'll find that you'll be doing monk mode, bam, bam, bam. You'll be super strict. And at one point, bam, you're going to fucking crash. You're going to crash because you're just depressed. You're not happy and you can't keep going. And the only time I would recommend doing a genuine monk mode where you have zero distractions, the one exception is if you have a huge project in the sense that it is linked to your life purpose. Let's say you're writing a book and this is your life. You know, this is something you've been called to do. You have this huge projects you need to work on, and you need to tap into different states. You need to be so incredibly locked in that it's almost a meditative state. And you need that entire focus, not a single distraction for this project. And that is the one exception where I could say, okay, you've got something big, give it everything. But in 99.9% of cases, this is not your case. But that is the one exception. Most of the time, you can take periods where you're productive and still have a balance of seeing your friends, doing this, doing that, having fun, and not taking it too far. Now, there's levels to this, but you should never have to go that far. What I would recommend, or not never, right? I just gave you the one exception. What I would recommend is obviously work hard in your day-to-day life. Work hard, keep a balance, you know, have fun with your friends. If you want to go out, drink, you know, just keep it balanced. Don't do too much and take care of yourself. That should just be for your everyday life. If you want to take a period to focus on something, you can do a mini monk mode. You could do for a few weeks where you focus on a project and you still see friends and maybe you don't drink, maybe you don't do this, but you don't take everything away. You still make it sustainable to some extent. And that you can do temporarily. That's it for this video. Wait, there's one more thing. I forgot. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.